everyone, it's Emily, your writing mentor from English 102. Today I'd like to talk to you about a little something called prescriptive and descriptive grammar. As some of you may know, I am a linguistics major, and part of that is studying all different parts of language, which includes grammar. As a linguist, however, we talk about grammar a little bit differently from the average person. And part of that is knowing about prescriptive and descriptive grammar. So these are two different ways to look at grammar and to define grammar and language in general. They both have different uses and can be helpful for different situations. First of all, what is prescriptive grammar? This is what most of you will probably think of when you hear the word grammar. Prescriptive grammar is a set of rules that explains the right way of speaking or writing. And this is often what's taught to you in your English classes, especially in grade school. On the other hand, descriptive grammar is used by linguists to describe how people actually use language. It's used to study patterns in language as they actually appear, instead of using set rules. This reflects the ways that grammar is constantly changing, and things only become ungrammatical if they are unintelligible by speakers of that language. Here's an example of some sample conversations. In each of these three different conversations, they're saying essentially the same thing. However, only the first example would be prescriptively correct. It uses formal language and grammar that most people would prescribe as good grammar. On the other hand, all three of these conversations would be descriptively correct. This is because they can be understood by speakers of the language. Now, it's important to recognize that these different examples might be more appropriate in different settings. For example, the first one might be a conversation you would have at a job interview, whereas the third one would be closer to language you would use while texting. So each of these different types of grammar has their own purpose. Prescriptive grammar is really good for teaching the basics of the language, and it can be easily understood by all speakers of the language. It also creates rules that can later be broken for literary effect. On the other hand, descriptive grammar allows for more flexible ideas of what language can and should be, and it doesn't allow any one person to make the rules of a language. In addition, it takes into account more dialects and regional variants that prescriptive grammar doesn't take into account. So what does this mean for you as students of English 102? In this course, you have the opportunity to play around with different genres and styles that will best reach your audience. Prescriptive academic writing might not be what's best for your audience. If your audience is your neighbors or coworkers, would you talk to them in a highly formal tone? Most likely you wouldn't, as it would seem stilted and stuffy, even though it might be what is prescriptively the most grammatical. It's okay to use language in a different way as long as you think it's appropriate for your topic and for your audience. That being said, it should still be intelligible and appropriate. In the end, it's good to know the prescriptive rules, but it's also good to know when you can break them. And don't worry if you feel like you're not good enough at writing or speaking. You can still effectively communicate your ideas through the language that you know. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you out, and as always, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.